Welcome to SBS Parts Colorado Rugged Racks installation video. We will be installing this cargo rack on a 2012 Can Am Commander XT. Here are the three pieces of the rack. We were impressed with the rack's clean welds. The powder coat finish was well done, and there's a Colorado Rugged Racks logo on each side of the rack. To put the rack together, first turn the basket upside down and rest the side of the rack on the edge of the basket so that the other end of the steel beam on the side of the rack can be lined up with the bolt hole that is located about a quarter of the way down the basket. Only tighten these bolts finger tight initially. You can use a wrench and socket to tighten the three bolts that mount the basket to the sides of the rack. When you're done with one side of the rack, just repeat the process on the other side. Here's a different view of the installation of those three bolts. Once you're done installing the sides of the rack onto the basket, tighten up those metal beams on each side. Installation of the rack is pretty straightforward, but it will require two people. Our Commander is an XT model, which means that it comes with bed rails on the sides of the bed, so the rack will actually sit right on top of these bed rails. On the normal Commander X, the rack will sit right on the edges of the bed. Due to the additional inches of height that the XT model's bed rails add to the rack mounting points, we needed slightly longer turnbuckles. If you own an XT model, let your retailer know when you order so that you get hardware long enough to reach the bed and the rack. To install the turnbuckles, thread both ends into the center coupler. Install the round end through the loop on the rack and the hooked end through the bed's tie-down loops. Then simply twist the coupler clockwise until both ends of the turnbuckle are tight. Then twist the lock nut down to the end of the coupler to lock it in place. Complete the process on all four corners and your rack is installed. One of the things we love about this bed rack is it still allows full access to the Commander's fold-up bed system, and the bed tilt feature is fully functional as well. We think this rack looks great on the back of the Commander, and it held up well during our first day of riding.